take the infrastructure of ITC. So I'll tell you what we did. I'll give you just in 5 minutes what we did. In our paperboards business, we were confronted with a challenge about 10 odd years ago. It was a sick business. The reason why it was sick was because there was no access to fiber. And we were doing a lower order paperboard with waste paper, because that is what we could import. And you could not, access fiber by felling trees in the forest. And there were high degree of revenue that the government was pulling out. So we created, we could have purchased pulp from overseas because the duty had come down to 5%. But we took the route of creating livelihoods in India. And we went around to tribals who had private wasteland. We created an R&D program that would get high growth saplings, and we created a mechanism of distributing them and to getting them into virtual cooperatives, and created a total revolution in the command areas of our mills. And we created disease-resistant saplings that would survive the different weather conditions, and providing them customized essential service. And we also gave them an assurance like earlier that we would buy from them. These are the visual pictures of how these wastelands can be converted, into forest plantations. So far we've greened about 85,000 hectares, and the social contribution we made is we created 35 million person days of employment. Our factory has only 600 people to convert all this. Whereas if we produce, we bought pulp from overseas, only 600 million will get employed. 600 people will get employed. But if we grew the trees in India, then you'll get 55 million man days of additional employment. Then environment impact is absolutely phenomenal. Today we are the only company in the world that is water positive because of our water harvesting programs, that is carbon positive because of our tree growing opportunity, and we also recycle all our waste. So we are a zero. And lo and behold, we're becoming a world-class competitive player, because we can also grow because of the incomes expectation in rural India. We can grow trees cheaper than in Finland and in Canada and whatever, right? And it is close to our mill. So we can create really livelihoods. Now just try and expand this opportunity into many other areas, into biofuels, into chemicals, biochemicals, into furniture. Actually, IKEA, India should be the place where Indian wood is used for creating furniture. If you go to Switzerland, people live in wood houses. But if we come to India, in rural areas, we live in steel and cement houses, which are actually polluting. And wood is a sink for carbon. If you take a log of wood and create a bench out of it, it is a permanent sink. So more of the wood that you use for getting the quality of your life, people say, oh, this is wood has been cut. I say, get more doors out of wood, so long as it is from growing trees, by creating renewable forests, and not by cutting trees and not replenishing them. So long as you can create more trees, cut wood, and use wood, and wood is much more elegant. If you go to a room that is wood panel or wood flooring, that is considered luxury. So we can actually do this, and many farmers would get opportunity. We have this 30 million hectares of wasteland, right? Out of wood we can create paper. We import paper in India because there is not enough fiber. We can create our own industry and create a multiplier effect. So I just wanted to say that, but this is not possible without creating a policy environment in the country to be able to do this. Right? So this is a policy imperative and so on. I just don't want to go into this. So, but ultimately, this is, corporations have huge resources. corporations are very well placed because they have so many touch points of society. Take ITC, we are everywhere. We have so many touch points with society. So, we can actually bring about change. But the problem is that this change does not give profits in the next quarter. And this change, the convergence of societal good and companies' good is converging. But it converges after 20, 25 years. And who has seen, as we say, in the long term, everybody is dead. So we need to create a policy environment where we can create a market for corporate social responsibility. We can create, so you can conduct your business, you can integrate into your business model, these objectives of creating societal wealth. Because that itself will give you, like the increasing the income of the farmer, it will create a market for you tomorrow. But most entrepreneurs, most capitalists want to see the benefit. And it is possible to create an environment where value can be recognized, and that value will come in the long run. It comes immediately to society, but it converts itself into profit in the balance sheet of the companies after 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. So we can find a mechanism for those who create value for society, their balance sheet returns can be made available to them now. And therefore, this is a deep subject. This is a subject, it is at the level of philosophy, it's hard to do. And I have made recommendations in my speeches, but I am a voice that is not always heard. But I believe that over a period of time, if I can talk to many more intelligent people, entrepreneurs, the people of tomorrow of India, someday we can harness the enormous powers of business to combine their qualities of the head and the heart and create a force that would transform our society and also bring enormous amount of returns on capital for the shareholders. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have enlisted their, formed them the power of the value chain and given them the task of running some of the hubs. So they cannot have now a big margin, small transaction, but they now have a small margin, large transactions. But you're right, we have not been able to get all of them absorbed in our value chain. And there was a condition when they, in Madhya Pradesh, they sort of went on strike to stop the economic activity. But they did not realize very early, by which time the farmers were already seeing the benefits of what we do. So all the farmers came there to Bhopal and had a demonstration in favor of ITC. So, but in Rajasthan, where we had not started our activity, when we went there, those middlemen, did not allow us to take root quickly, but that took much longer. We had to create demonstration, we had to create water harvesting, demonstrate, and Chief Minister was inviting me to go to Rajasthan, Vasundhara Raje. She also got cold feet because when there was so much opposition. But I think at the end of her 5th year, I told her that if you start now, by the time the re-elections come, you would be the, you would win the elections if we could do in 5 years. But she was opposed in the beginning. So whatever we've done there is not of a scale and size, but we've now demonstrated. So a lot of people are convinced the next government when it comes, I think we can really give that into a much bigger opportunity. But I think that is the question. Every time you do transformation, right, that it's not free of pain. But what you can only do is to minimize the pain. And you can provide alternative opportunities to people who are suffering. But if you increase the size of the cake, you will find that that is the best solution. So the solution is not, taking a larger share of a slim wallet, but to create a fat wallet so that, even a small share would be larger than a big share from the small wallet.
Yes, your each of us is an excellent mode of communication with the farmers.